Hey, this man won Trapper of the Year 4 times in a row. I didn't expect him to stay married to Shorty. What's going on, good people? We got night class tonight. Been having a lot of people hit me up about this Jeezy Jeannie situation. They're like, "Gee, man, you gotta speak about this one." I can't lie. I've been bumping Jeezy for the last few days. You know, he got a song to say welcome back. That man told us the closest he'll ever come to commercial was on TV. And marrying this TV host, I mean, he called a shot. He really called a shot. Class in session. All right, so for those of y'all who know what's going on, man, Jeezy announced on a few days ago that, he filed for divorce, which is interesting because statistically, thanks to a lot of the red pill content that we see these days, statistically, what we know is that women today are filing for 80% of the divorces. But you're beginning to increasingly see more men filing for divorce. And I wonder what that is. But we got this little clip right here. So we're gonna play this little clip that I found online. All right, let's get into this. So they've been married for 2 years. It says according to court documents obtained by Atlanta General Counsel and Jeezy Files, and his marriage September 14 Fulton County Superior Court. Per the docs, Jeezy is seeking joint custody of his daughter, 1-year-old Monaco. They have prenuptial agreements in place. And finally, Jeezy and Ma tied the knot March 2021 after 3 years of dating, then welcomed Monaco in January 2022. So that's just a little snippet. That's just a little snippet highlighting, what we already know. I'm going to say this. Marriage and divorce. So a lot of people who aren't married, they say they don't believe in divorce. I used to say that before I got married. But I also used to say that I didn't believe in abortion. And then I got somebody pregnant. You don't know what you're going to do until you're in a situation. The old folks in the country always say, never say never. Because you don't know what you might do. When I think about Jeezy and Jeannie Ma, man, I didn't watch the TV show that she was on, but I listened to Jeezy's music for a long time. So when I saw this, I was like, okay, bro, different man now. And one thing I know about being a quote unquote different man is that when you get married and a part of you has changed for whatever reason, if that change doesn't have an anchor, and I mean a legitimate anchor, you coming back. Marriage is one of these institutions that it's going to push you to your brink. I don't care who you are. I don't care how strong you are. I don't care what it is that you think you know and what it is that you think you believe about what you believe. You get married, and I promise you, it may not come out of your mouth, but divorce is going to cross your mind. You hear these couples talking about, we don't believe in divorce. We don't say the D word. I mean, hey. But yeah, so looking at Jeannie Ma, looking at young Jeezy, what you ultimately see, man, is two people. They look glamorous together. And one thing I got to warn y'all about, man, when you see married couples and all people talking about is how good they look together, they already in for some trouble. Because marriage has got very little to do with how well you guys complement each other, like aesthetically. But in the society we live in, that's something that we sincerely value. And when we look at couples, we think that if they look good together, then somehow what they have is good. That ain't true. That's not true. Take it from me. People see me and my wife, we look phenomenal together. But does that mean that we're problem free? Absolutely not. Does that mean that we're struggle free? Absolutely not. If you marry, you are going to have challenges in this world. And for as far as I could understand, Jeezy and Jeannie never professed or proclaimed any religious ties or beliefs. I do know that Jeannie had some, if you listen to her talk, I think culturally, what she did have was some different takes on submission and how to serve and love and respect a man that, you know, a lot of people thought were, well, really in today's world, a lot of people thought they were controversial. But for her and where she came from, like serving a man didn't seem to be a problem for her. Letting a man know how much he was respected and valued and treating him in a way that her culture felt was ideal. That was something that I did hear her express. And then you would kind of see the women on her show giving some pushback. And that's just the world we live in today. I don't think that anybody is surprised by the fact that these two got divorced. I think the most surprising divorce to us was when my man Devon Franklin left Megan Good, in which he filed for divorce in that marriage, I believe, as well. So there's something that's taking place, man. And for the young men, if you are looking to get married, you marry a woman that has a desire to be a wife. Because it's that desire that's going to carry her forward in the tough times. Young women, marry a man that has a desire to be a husband. And marry a man that loves you for you and doesn't need any component of who you are to change for his love to continue. So it said that they divorced over some family discrepancies. And then there was a rumor some years ago, or a little bit ago, I won't say some years. There was a rumor when the daughter was born, Monaco, I think they named her. There was rumor that they were going to raise her gender fluid. And I'm just like, listen, man, like Jeezy, when you trap of the year 4 times in a row, got a lifetime supply of baking soda clientele, when you got perked by the pound, goose by the 5th, and you re-upping on the 1st and again on the 5th, like, you don't get to raise your child gender fluid. If you can show me how to make a meal right now, then you ought to be able to look at your baby and know. So I think that turned out to be like some type of rumor. Because, you know, I was like, man, Jeezy, this really is a crazy world. You gonna be out here trapping or dying? No, I'm just joking. But yeah, marriage is a serious thing. And unfortunately, culturally, we've gotten into a space where marriage has become something that rich people do, something that well-to-do people do. If you look at marital statistics across the United States especially, what you begin to see is that educated upper middle class people are people that marry. Marriage is a luxury. It is for aesthetics. It is for lifestyle purposes. It's not necessarily for duty and community anymore. We marry to have accessories that we call children, so we can dress them up and make them look cute and pretty and showcase and flash how much we can buy them and how cute they are. Where women and men legitimately feel contempt for their kid if they don't feel that their kid is cute enough. It's a real thing. I've heard women talk about their fear of having an ugly baby. This stuff is foolish to me. We've gone from, and I'm speaking predominantly to the Christian community, like people of God. Like, I like to challenge the thinking in the church. So when you look at these types of things, like a child went from being the quintessential blessing in biblical times to a point where we're doing any and everything that we can to keep a child from coming into this earth. Plan Bs, abortions, like, and listen, there's no judgment in my voice when I say these things, because if you know anything about George Raymond Hines Jr., you know that I've been in those arenas many times over, and the things that you guys wouldn't believe. But when you have a true encounter with the Holy Spirit and Jesus Christ comes into your heart and changes your life, you begin to look at those things differently. And you begin to feel deeply remorseful about what God has altered and changed in your life. And when you start to pursue righteousness in your singleness, marriage becomes a thing that you value. And you want to do it right because you want to honor God. And it's not this celebrity marriage that we see where you're trying to pick out the finest woman that you can to titillate and like invigorate your senses. We may marry something commercial, and marriage is covenant. And you can tell we've done that because of how we glamorize the celebrities. You can tell we've done that because of the cameras that we have. Because we want to capture these candid moments. We want people to see and share. Because our love is going to be greater than any other love that the world has ever seen. When the best kind of love that you can have is just simple. I'm a man with flaws. I met a woman who accepts my flaws. She's a woman with flaws. I'm a man who accepts her flaws. And we've committed to doing the very best that we can for each other. To love and to be understanding. To be thoughtful and caring. To be nurturing and fun-loving. To make sacrifices, to make adjustments. Every day for as long as I live. Putting aside anything else, anyone else who would interfere with my ability to do this thing for you. And I want to vow and take a covenant to do it until I die. Like, that's something sacred. And it's almost like we kill the sacredness of marriage because we want to turn on the camera. And hey, I did it too. Like, my marriage is all over YouTube. You know what I'm saying? And I'm crying and acting a fool. But you want to make sure that when the cameras turn off, that you and your spouse, you and your wife, you and your husband, that you actually like being there and you weren't just performing to get your views up. Class dismissed.